Hey everyone. In this video, we're going to go ahead and create a Power Automate job. It's going to work in tandem with a Canvas app in order to create some resource groups in Azure. It's going to be a multi-video series in order to get to the final result. So let's get started on the Power Automate job. So here's our solution. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new Cloudflow. And it's going to be automated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just skip all of the extra stuff here and pick what I want. I'm going to give this a name. Call this consume Canvas app data to create resource group in Azure. And it's going to be a PowerApps input, PowerApps v1. And then we don't need any additional input here at this point. This is how the Canvas app will talk to the Power App input. So we'll get there. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to essentially we're going to go ahead and instantiate some variables. So there's only a few things that you need to create a base resource group. So let's just create the bare minimum for now, just to show the concept in action. So what we'll do is we'll initialize a variable. And it's always best practice to give your variables names, even in the steps. So I'm going to call this one resource group name. And I'm also going to call it inside here resource group name. And it's going to be a string variable. And then right here, very important, what you want to do is you want to ask in PowerApps, which is where Canvas app is going to come into play. So then what it does is it automatically says, okay, I'm going to populate this based on the input coming in from this Power App input here. And then the next variable, let's go ahead and create one from scratch. So initialize variable. This one's going to be the this is going to be the actual location. So we'll call this we can just call this location or cost center or whatever. But this would be like Central US, West US, East US, etc. And so we'll ask in PowerApps for that location value. The other thing we're gonna need, I think that should be good. So then now we're gonna use this new connector here in the step, I should say. It's not a new connector, but we're gonna use this function here, create or update a resource group. And then it's going to ask me to sign in to Azure. So I created an Azure subscription here. So it's asking me for my subscription. And then you can see, right, resource group name. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass in this variable based on what the Canvas app is providing. Here it wants me to pass in a hard-coded value. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to enter a custom value. And I'm going to pass in the location value. And then tags can also be attached to the resource group in a JSON format. I'll cover that in a different video. But generally, you just pass those in as a JSON, and as long as it matches the policy in the Azure tenant, then you're good to go. But for now, we just want to show this concept in action. So just so you can see how it works, what I'm going to go ahead and do is save this. And then in the next video, we're going to build out a form that's going to have two fields. And then on submit, it's going to call this Power Automate job. And then we're going to see what happens in Azure, where we have no resource groups right now. Thank you so much for watching.